Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, please make sure you subscribe before you leave, and if you are a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. In today's video, we are going to be making this dress that was sent to me by a subscriber on IG. And please, if there's any other dress that you'd like me to make, you can send me a DM. My Instagram page is the same as my YouTube handle, Beep Style. So for this dress, goodness, it's a side corset, and there are just so many things going on, but I used 1.5 yards, folded it into two, then into four, and that's what you are seeing. I measured from my shoulder to just above my knee where I wanted the shirt to end. That is 36 inches. And then here I'm placing my neck measurement, my neck, which is 4 for the width, 4 inches, and then for the depth, 3 inches. I'm using 4 inches because I want the neck to be wide. You will see the reason later. Then for the shoulder, I'm using 4 inches. Of course, it is 3.5, but then plus sewing allowance, it's 4 inches. And then here I'm placing armhole, which is 7 inches. Then I'll be placing my shoulder slant, which is 1/2 inch. Then here I'm just extending my armhole. Then here I'm placing my shoulder to bust point, which is 9 inches, but I'll placing 9.5 because of sewing allowance. The amount on the bust, which is 13, but plus sewing allowance 13.5. That's what I just did. Then here I'm placing the bust point to bust point measurement. The bust point to bust point measurement is 8, but I'll be using 7 here because the 1 inch will be for the corset, where the corset would sit. I'll explain later. So whatever your bust point to bust point is, minus 1 inch and put it. So I'll be using 7 inches for bust point to bust point, but I just use 3.5. 7 divided by 2 is 3.5. Then here I'm just extending the lines, the bust point line and the under bust point line, so that you guys won't be confused when I'm talking about them. And what am I doing? Oh yeah, I just extended the line. And I'm just going to draw a line there, to demarcate a line where my bust point to bust point starts. I'll explain better on that bust point to bust point later on in the video. So now I'm placing my round bust measurement, the round bust measurement for this dress. I'll be placing that measurement from the top to the bottom of the dress. From the top to the knee point of the dress. I believe the bust point is 38. I think no, it's not 36, it's 38, because at first I wanted to make the dress for myself, but then I changed my mind. So the bust point is like 38, but I rounded it up to 42 for allowance, because from the thumbnail, if you saw the dress, it's a free dress. So you can add 5 inches to your own round bust measurement. You can add 5 inches, 6 inches, or even 7 inches, just how free you want the dress to be. And that's what I'm just placing. Of course, it will be 42 divided by 4, and I'm placing that measurement everywhere. And of course, I'm extending that measurement all through the dress, including the armhole. So from the armhole to the bust point to the under bust to where the dress stops, it will be the same measurement. And I just cuffed my armhole. Now guys, back to this to the corsets. That's where the main issue is. So guys, like I said, the bust point to bust point here is actually 8, but I'll be using 7 because that one, it should be where that corset will sit on. So yeah, here I just wrote the lines, the names of the lines, so that you won't get confused. That is the bust point, under bust, and bust point to bust point. So like I said earlier, I drew that line 3.5, right from the middle of the shirt, 3.5, and put a mark. That is where the bust point to bust point is. that is how that is where the bust point, sorry, that is where the corset will start from. And then the corset, if you saw from the thumbnail, the corset starts immediately under the bust, so that's why I'm putting it immediately on the line of the under bust. I hope you get me. Then the corset is 5 inches long. We can make your 6 inches long, but 5 inches is okay, or 6, anyone you want. Then for the width of the corset, we are going to, since like I said earlier, the bust point to bust point is 8, but we're using 7, and we had already marked out 3.5. Now we're making out the remaining 3.5 for where the corset will end. So the corset will start and end all within the measurement of our under bust, of course minus 1 inch for where the corset will sit. I hope you get me. And where the corset will sit, I mean, that's where the ropes will be, where you're able to, you know, tighten it or loosen it. And that is what I just did here. I hope you guys get what I'm saying and it's not that confusing. I hope so. So you see what I was saying here, I just added that 1 inch because it was 8 in the first place. So this 1 inch will be where the ropes will stay, where you're able to tighten up the corset or loosen up the corset. I hope you get me, guys. I hope you get me. But it's not that confusing. Okay, it's a little bit confusing, but it's easy. And this is what we will have. Have you subscribed to my channel? What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Please subscribe right now, okay? And make sure you share my videos. And if you have interest that you'd like me to make, please send me a DM on Instagram and I will surely try and make a video for it. Here I'm just cutting out what we made, and this is how dress will look like when you open it up. Now we are just going to do the same thing for the other side too, because you know the corset is on both sides. You see, like I said, you see where I measured, you see it's 7, exactly 7 from the middle of the dress to this part, to the right side or the left side. It's 7, which is the measurement we are using for the corset, right? You see, so the middle of the dress will be where that 3.5 starts. You know where you know when you fold the dress, that is where it was. So you see, that is where I just made the line, that little mark, so that I will know where the middle of the dress is. And then for the other side, we are doing the same thing. We are going to mark out 3.5. So you see, the middle of the dress, you know, the middle of the dress is your exact bust point to bust point, the normal bust point to bust point, like when you are cutting what's it called, a breast cuff, you know. So that is where that is where will be the middle of the dress, and the corset will start from immediately after your bust point to bust point. I hope you get me. However, it's directly under your bust, you know. I hope you get me, guys. I hope you do. But from seeing this, I believe it's easy to understand. When, like, from seeing the drawing, that is why I made sure I used a white chalk so that you would see it exactly as I'm seeing it. So you see, from one corset to the other, it's 14. And then of course 2 inches are missing because, like I said, the under bust is okay, maybe I didn't see this, but the under bust is 18. So you see, from one corset to the other is 14. Those 2 inches will be where the ropes of the corset will sit on. I hope you get that. And I'm just drawing a line from the corset to the end, to the neck of the dress, because at first I thought that she just the lady that made, or the designer of this dress, I thought she just, you know, cut out where the corset would sit. But no, after I watched 1 or 2 videos of hers, I saw that she had the cuts from the neck of the dress to the end of the corset. That is what she did. So it somehow fits in, like having a dart for the shirt, I guess. So that's what I just did, and that's why I used 4 inches for the measurement of the neck, because when you sew it up, the neck will end up being like 7 inches, so it wouldn't be too wide. So it all makes sense at the end, I guess. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just, you know, cutting it out, and then I'm going to nudge where the corset starts from and where it ends, so that I'll be able to sew it in correctly when I'm, you know, stitching up the dress. So have you subscribed? Have you? What are you waiting for? I have other videos coming, so please subscribe to my channel right now. Subscribe, okay? And this is what we have. I hope that is understandable, but I will show you how I also sew the dress. So even if this is a tad bit confusing, when you see how I sew the dress, you'd understand it. So here I'm going to measure the line. If you remember, we had 5 inches for the length of the corset and 3.5 inches for the width of the corset, and this is what you are going to do the same thing. However, I used, I believe, 5.5 inches for sewing allowance for this corset, and then for the width I used 4 inches instead of 3.5. So we are going to cut out these pieces, 4 of them. Okay, actually 8, because we have to stitch in those ones. So 8 of them, because it will be 2 corsets on the front and 2 at the back. And this is the remaining yard from that 1.5 that I cut out the shirt from. I'll be using it for the hand sleeves. So this, for the sleeves, if you saw, the sleeves are ruched sleeves, so of course they are going to be very wide. I'm going to be using 10 inches for them, and for the length I believe I used 24 inches. Yes, and I'm just going to curve it out the way you normally curve out your sleeve. Not really any perfection because it's a wide sleeve. So yeah, it's 4 layers for both hands, and the middle is where we'll make the ruched I don't know, is it ruched pattern or the ruchness, is that a word? Yeah, but that's where we'll be making it, and I'll show you guys how I made mine. It's the easiest way to make a ruched sleeve, the easiest way. Yes, and here I'm just measuring the end of the dress, because the dress is from our shoulder to our knee, which was 36 inches, but the width of the dress is 23. So this is what I'll be using to make the ruffles at the end. I just got another 1.5 yards divided into 2, by its length, because the yard is 60 inches. So when you divide it into 2, it will be 30 inches, and it will be wide enough for any ruffle that you want to make. And this is the remaining material from where I cut out the shirt. This is what I'll be using to make those ropes for the corset. So you see, this is how I made them. You fold this side, you fold the other side, then you just fold them one on top the other. That is the easiest way to explain it. Then you just stitch it, and that is it. Here I'm just cutting it out. You should cut as many as possible, so that when you are sewing, it will not be not enough. Yeah, and that's what I'm still doing here. I'm just cutting out more ropes. So sorry about the lightning here, guys. It was raining and I was at the store where I make dresses, so the light is not really bright. So I hope you can see, but I just stitched the width of the corset and leaving the 2 sides. I hope you get me. I ironed them, because one side you'll be adding the hoops where the corsets will go through. Yeah, it's a little brighter here, and these are the ropes that I made for the corset. Here they are. So I'll make 2 long ones, and then the other ones will be short, for those hoops where the ropes will go through. And this is how you make the hoops. You see, like this. Don't make yours as big as this, please, guys. I don't even know what I was doing, but I made mine these wide hoops, and they were just looking somehow. But please don't make yours as wide as this. Make yours maybe half of this. Make it in a way that the hoops will just be 1 inch, highest 1 inch, because mine are just too big. And this is how, this is the corset. Okay, the half corset side. So I'm just showing you guys how you will put in the hoops. You see, you just fold. Yeah, I'm sorry, I was at the store, like I said, so I had to use one hand to hold the phone and one hand I was showing you. Sorry about that, guys. So all you have to do is just fold it, put it into the hoop, then put it into the side corset, and then you stitch the top. You see, like this. Then you are going to just put in or you can use a needle to hold them. You can put in 4. I used 4, so there were 4 hoops on each corset, on each corset, and you see this is how it will look after you sew it. So I used 4, so there were 4 hoops on each corset for mine. Yes, this is how it looked, you see, after you put it in. You see? Yes. So please don't forget, don't make your hoops as big as mine. I don't know what is wrong with me. Maybe just the rain that was making me lazy, but my hoops were just too big. Yeah. Not that it mattered. Okay, it matters. So please make yours a tad bit smaller, because you know that 1 inch that we remained from our underbust, that's where those hoops will sit on. So please don't make them as big as this. Yeah. So after ironing the side corset, this is how you are going to fix it into the shirt. You put it, you see. Sorry, I was using one hand to hold the phone, one hand to show you guys. So it's a little bit not coordinated, but I guess you'd understand if you are watching. Yeah, then you sew it to the end, to the neck. You start sewing from just below where the corset starts so that it fits in well. You see? Yes. Again, my hoops are too big. Please don't make yours like mine. Have you subscribed to my channel? What are you waiting for? Look at the dresses we're making over here. Subscribe, okay? And stay with us. Yes, and this is how it will look after you fix on the 2 sides. Then you can, top stitch your neck. You see? So the neck is not too wide. For those that might think, 4 inches for the neck was too wide. So you see, after stitching this, it wouldn't be too wide. And then I'm making the ruffles for the end of the dress, because dress is of 2 parts, from the shoulder to the knee, then the knee to the end of the dress, which is the ruffles. This is the easiest way to make ruffle, guys. Just use a needle and thread to make the ruffle. Then you spread it out on the material, then you sew it and take out the needle and thread, and that's what I just did. That is the easiest way to make your ruffles, and that is also the easiest way to make a ruched sleeve. This is what I'm doing. So I just use a thread and needle to just sew in. Make sure you're using the same interval place. Okay, so just sew it like you are sewing an outfit, right, on the sleeve from the top to the end. You see, by the time you just drag one end of the thread, sorry, I was using one hand to hold and one hand to show you. So like I was saying, by the time you use one hand to draw one end of the thread, it is going to become ruched. You see, like it's so easy to make. You see, then you can just spread it out to how you want it. If you want it to be very ruched up, or if you want it to be spaced out, you can just do that. Then you go and stitch it up. Just go and put it on your tailor and just stitch it up, and that's it. I guess that's what I was doing here too. Yeah, you see, then you just stitch it up in the middle. Make sure you iron the sleeve at the beginning so that you know where the middle is. Sorry, and that's what I just did. You see, then you can just pull out the thread, and you are going to have your ruched sleeve, easily made. You see, pull it out, and that's it. You have your ruched sleeve, easily make. I don't know if there are other easier ways to make it, but I've seen some videos, and honestly it's the easiest way to make it. I don't know if there's any video about doing it like this, so I'm not quite sure. And then we're done with the dress, of course, after fixing your sleeves and sewing out everywhere. Here I'm just applying my corset. I hope you know how to do this, because guys, I did this like 2 or 3 times. I don't know, I think I don't know how to do this, but I figured it out at the end, and I'm just showing you. This is how it will look. You see, the other side I have done it, and then there's this side. So have you subscribed to my channel? Even with this dress that we just made, you did not subscribe. Ooh, okay, look at it. So I didn't tighten the corset well. If I had the dress a little bit tighter than this, but this is what you have. But from the thumbnail, her dress was a little bit wider than this, but you can make yours wider than this too, or you can just make it like this. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. Please make sure you subscribe before you leave, and share my videos. I hope you love this dress, and I hope you'd send me any other dress that you'd like me to make. Thank you for watching.